Hello there, and welcome to the Time Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz that there's no tomorrow. This week, we're talking about Black Adam. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host John. How are you this week?
Oh, I'm good. I'm very excited to talk about Black Adam. It's been such a ride since we got Black Adam announced, and then we're like, oh, where's
Mm,
this gonna start? And then it's just like, oh wow,
yeah, this has been in development since 2007,
yeah.
which
And
is which is maybe even before that, which is insane.
yes, I was just so surprised when I saw this film. But yeah, let's get into Black Adam. So let me just get the.
Absolutely, and happy Halloween, kind of
Oh
almost.
yeah, Happy Halloween! It's spooky month. Woo!
It is indeed. What better way to celebrate than with Black Adam itself, the ultimate Halloween movie? It seems like even though we cover every Marvel thing that comes out, we just missed the mark when it comes to DC. We missed both Super Pets and Peacemaker. And hey, I liked Super Pets. I loved Peacemaker, but never mind that now. Never mind that. We're back with Black Adam, the
Back.
hierarchy of the
We're
DC
back.
universe. It's about to change, baby.
Ooh yes.
This is it. So yeah, briefly explain the plot for those who don't know.
Okay, in ancient Kondak, Teth Adam was bestowed the almighty powers of the god. After using these powers for vengeance, he was imprisoned. Nearly 5,000 years have passed, and Black Adam has gone from man to myth to legend. Now free, his unique form of justice, born out of rage, is challenged by the modern day heroes, the Justice Society, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. That's the description right there.
Wow. I mean, full spoilers ahead. So, if you haven't seen Black Adam, it's worth the
Yes.
watch, definitely. What did you think?
As I said earlier, I was surprised because we just saw like the DC universe like completely in shambles, like since the
Mm.
announcement of Batgirl, just
Oh,
completely getting
yes.
wiped off. Somehow no one got footage of it like anywhere. And they just couldn't get the footage anywhere, but that's so sad. But I was just a bit, oh no, what if this movie fails? I remember The Rock just like saying something about like he's not going to continue if the movie fails. I don't know. That was ages ago, but here we are. Black Adam. I am very happy that this was something that I was enjoying. Like, this is one of the better films in this superhero phase right now. Like, phase four of Marvel. Oh my God. We don't talk about that, but there's some good stuff there.
We have done videos on all the stuff in phase four. So, if you're interested in that, you can check it out. But DC has been on a real winning streak. Since Justice League, they have made banger after banger. Yeah, okay, maybe Wonder Woman 84 isn't a banger,
No, no.
but I think all of their live action stuff and even Super Pets, even that kind of stuff, I think they've really been nailing it. But what's been happening this year is really worrying with all the cancellations and all of like the stuff that's gone on behind the scenes. And we were gonna have 5 DC movies this year, not including Super Pets,
Oh,
and we're
really?
now getting 2 of those 5.
Oh, damn.
So I mean, it might have even been 6. And so this very much could have been the make or break of the DCEU. This movie.
Dang. I did not know there was supposed to be like five DC films out
Yeah,
this year.
we were supposed to get the Batman, Black Adam, the Flash, Shazam, and Aquaman all this year.
Oh no.
I know, I
But
know.
let's not get sad. The current state of DC looks very promising. The future is
Yes,
bright,
absolutely. We will talk about that at the end of the video, but there's definitely some really exciting stuff happening.
yes, which we will talk about. But anyway, Black Adam, what do you think of it as well?
Yeah, no, I thought that going in, what does one expect from a Dwayne Johnson superhero movie? I didn't expect anything other than just dumb fun, cool action, a lot of badass stuff. And
Yeah.
it delivered. It wasn't trying to be the greatest film of all time. It doesn't really have that good of a script, but you can tell there's care been put into this movie. You can tell that everybody really wanted it to be good. You can tell they all tried their absolute hardest. It doesn't feel like it's just another in a long line of corporate things. We all know that Dwayne Johnson has huge passion for this. It doesn't feel like I feel like a lot of MCU things have felt recently, where it just feels like they're just making sequels and making movies just for the synergy of it all. I mean, hopefully Black Panther Wakanda Forever breaks
Oh,
that chain. We shall see. But this did feel so much more genuine than a lot of the recent comic book films and TV shows that we have been subjected to.
Yeah, and I felt like this was so much fun to watch, like watching it at the big screen, and it's just so ridiculous. It's like Fast and Furious. There's some really good Fast and Furious films by there, like five, six, and seven. Like those are the classics out there. And this felt like watching it, like it was just a proper fun being at the cinema, just like
Yeah.
enjoying
Yeah.
this stupid but fun film because it's like just Dwayne the Rock Johnson just being Black Adam. And the best part is that he was so passionate about it.
Mm.
And there were so many moments that was so cool in this film that even like trumps out the best moments in the MCU in Phase 4. Like there's some really good moments in the film that
Yeah.
defined Black Adam as a character, but some really cool moments as well. Especially when I remember there was a huge backlash where there was people posting about Black Adam like in this zoomed in picture, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yes, like the zoom
Yes.
in thing. And then I was like, That's a really cool shot. What are you talking about?" And then they were like literally comparing, like, "Oh my God, DC has bad CGI." I'm like, "Well, explain what happened in Someone Loves the Thunder then. Explain that. Explain
Yeah.
that."
Oh, that was atrocious. But I love that shot. That shot's part of a high-speed chase in the air. And I thought that was so good. It had such a sense of speed. And I think a lot of the action hit really hard. Like,
Yeah.
I think I said this when we were talking about Batman v Superman way back when, but it feels a lot of the time in comic book action scenes. And I don't want to draw comparisons between Marvel and DC, but I'm going to do it anyway. It feels like in the MCU, the action is so fast and so stylish that you don't feel the impact of a punch. Look at Spider-Man 1 before the MCU, Sam Raimi in that movie when Peter is getting absolutely bodied by the Green Goblin at the end. You can feel every hit, every punch, every time that they connect with one another. You really feel that. And I think DC is really good at its action because you can feel those moments. And there are so many really, really cool, like awesome, epic, badass moments that really you do feel that. Like there's a moment where Atom Smasher just smashes Black Adam into the ground. And you feel that. You can properly feel the impact of that moment.
Yeah, I know what you mean exactly. Like there's some moments that were stylizing or defining the moments in the film that felt like epic moments as well. Like if you look in like some moments in the MCU currently now, you don't really remember the set pieces as much, like because there's so much going on. Like the CGI is a bit oversaturated. But then here
Mm.
in Black Adam, there's some really cool moments like when he was doing the standoff, like in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah,
Yes.
and that was a really cool reference because
That was
usually
really nice.
usually what Marvel doesn't do is that it doesn't really allow to connect with movies because it feels so out of place, if you know what I mean. Like it feels like there's so much going on and you just don't feel like this is the right reality. Whereas in Black Adam, it allows to connect with the audience, understanding that reference, and also to feel like this is going to be like a really stupid film, but it's just referencing like all the best moments in cinema and reconnecting that to Black Adam, like it's referring to all of that. And I really like that. That was a really cool
Yeah.
moment that he was like shooting lasers, and there was some really other cool moments as well that I really liked.
Yeah, I mean, like that moment is really indicative of the whole thing, putting all its cards on the table immediately. And it's like, this is stupid. You're going to watch a stupid film. Just sit back, relax, and let us do our good, the bad, and the ugly reference. Like, that was really, really fun.
Yeah, and I think superhero films should do more references because that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
yeah,
There's never any harm in that. Like
no,
I think about Spaced as the work of Edgar Wright.
space.
Yeah, right. Like as a
Yes.
director, he is just absolutely, especially in his work with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, is absolutely piling on all of the references, and that's part of the charm in a way. But of course, this movie introduces us to the Justice Society.
Yes.
We get four. We get Hawkman, Doctor Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. And I obviously we've got quite a few superhero teams, and they do draw a lot of similarities. They've got the plane that comes out of the garden, just like the X-Men do. They've got their mansion, they've got this and that. But they're not groundbreaking. They're nothing especially new or different, but I still really enjoyed seeing them. I thought they were really, really welcome and fun in the movie, and there were some really good moments with them. And I thought, even though we don't get to fully explore all their characters, the characterization of each of them were very clear. So you can get
Mm.
emotionally invested, even if the film doesn't explore every single thing.
Yeah. I think that the film wasn't trying to explore as much of the Justice Society because I think that it was a great way of like they're the superheroes, but then the people in Kandahar have been through the occupation, like they've been through some terrifying things, like they had to be ruled over in Kandahar and they wanted someone to, save them, needed a hero, and they see Black Adam as a hero, and then there's this dichotomy of superheroes, like we need someone saving this whole city and they need to be saved. And then the Justice Society comes in and they're the superheroes. They're trying to save the city, but then they don't see the other side of the story, which is
Yeah.
Black Adam seeing Kandahar as completely destroyed. He doesn't see his home anymore. Like, that scene when this little boy just says, like, this is your home. And then Black Adam's like, this is not my home. And well, it's been gone for 5,000 years. And I think that's a great way of seeing that.
Yeah, I love how the Justice Society comes in. Again, the film doesn't explore every idea that it puts in place. And I kind of wish it did because the Justice Society come in and they're working for Amanda Waller, which is immediately a red flag, right? Like,
Oh,
I really hope that wherever we go in the future, we explore why are these heroes working with Amanda Waller? How is she kind of manipulating them into doing these things? But they come into Kondak and they get told by this woman that the people of Kondak have been in need all this time. And the only time that they actually come to help them isn't, when they're actually in need. It's actively to take away something that could help them. Like the Justice Society here are kind of villainous. And I think the worst part of this movie 100% is the villain. Like, oh my god, this is
oh
this is
no.
a this is a D tier villain. Like, I know that DC and Marvel have had some horrendous villains, but this one, whew, I mean,
Oh,
okay. I would have
well,
preferred that the Justice Society be more antagonist the entire way around. So we actually get to explore, instead of having the MacGuffin with the crown and, this whole thing with hell and these demons coming out of the ground and this guy turning into Sabak or whatever his name is. Why not instead have the Justice Society be at odds with Black Adam the whole time and it be purely about their conflict and them coming in as these saviors to Kandak who are really ungrateful of them and
yeah.
rightfully so. Like I feel like that's so much more interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Like I saw like some people talking about it as well. Like, they should be the villainous side to the story. And I think that's a great way of like showing Black Adam as the hero and then well, in the comics, he's this anti-hero, and I think that's a great way of like seeing that perspective. I think they should have done like this Justice Society because I think what the promotion was setting up is that it was going to be like huge, huge battle film, like Battle of the Five Armies, Black Adam versus the Justice Society, whatever. Like
Yeah.
that was the way it was set up. Like I'm not even kidding. Like you can go to look at the trailers or the promotion. I mean, Doctor Fate, he was just like Black Adam to fight you. I don't
They
know.
cut
It
out
was like
they
something
cut
like that.
out that. Do you see that thing that moment from the trailer where it zooms in on Dr. Fate's face beneath the mask and he says Black Adam? They cut that out. They cut out that brilliant
What they
moment from
did?
the trailers.
Ah,
They did.
son.
Uh but no, you're right. Like the trailers and all of the marketing built that up, and that's the best part of the movie in terms of the action. Like when they're like, like when Black Adam's in the kind of construction area and Cyclone's throwing all of the poles at him, and all the different Doctor Fates trying to pin him down, and Ant Smash is punching him into the ground. That's a really cool part of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, it was so weird that, Atom Smasher was like Deadpool, but no, I mean, not like the characterization of that, but like the way it was like CGI. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
eyes,
the
like the
mask.
way, yeah,
Yeah.
the mask. I was like, is this Deadpool? But yeah.
Well, that's actually it. That's a good segue because we literally did a video about superhero costumes, and I think
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie it continues DC's trend of having amazing costumes. Oh my God. We've talked about Aquaman's beautiful costume in the past and all the amazing Batman ones and he's Superman,
Ah,
but
yes.
this continues the trend. Like the costumes in this movie are immaculate. Dr. Fate and Hawkman and Cyclone and everyone, they look so good. And I wasn't actually like throughout the film, I was like, I don't really like Black Adam's outfit. And then at the end, he gets like a different outfit, like the
Yeah,
more
with gold.
comic book outfit, like with the gold boots and the gold like cuffs and the cape. And I was like, this is amazing. Like like it felt like a comic book movie. It didn't feel like it was making it, it just felt like it was embracing all of these elements, and it wasn't constantly like, and they felt real and tangible. I know they're not completely real. I know there is CGI elements, but the CGI in this movie was genuinely great a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And think about Love and Thunder again. Like think about the costumes and the helmets and that. They looked
uh
really distracting, but in this, they all look really, really great.
and the costumes just fit really well with the tone of the film. Like they just fit, the Justice Society, and then Black Adam's costume, like at the end, oh, peak costume right there. Like
So
that's a
good.
great way of showing like a superhero that is fully realizing his arc.
Mm,
Like
mm,
that is his arc throughout the way. Like,
yeah.
oh, this is the Black Adam. Like he's trying to
Yeah.
do, like trying to save conduct, and that was a really good point out to the costumes. Like I really like Doctor Fate's costume. That was so cool with the helmet.
I love Dr. Fate's outfit. And the whole time, like marketing wise, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure about the fact that the helmet doesn't have eyes. And at the end, when the helmet's eyes open, I was like, yes. It was just so there were
Wait,
so
did
many
they open?
moments. Yeah, when Hawkman has the helmet and he
Yeah,
uses
yeah,
it,
yeah,
the
yeah.
eyes open.
I didn't
Did you
realize that.
like that was like honestly like you don't expect a Black Adam movie to go this hard with like this kind of stuff. Amanda Waller shows up, Amelia Harcourt shows up. Obviously, that one guy from the end shows up. I wonder who, but like it was really cool to see all these characters, and I would love to see the Justice Society again. Like, give them a movie. Bring in Starman, Stargirl, give us Hourman, Doctor Midnight, Wildcat, Green Lantern, The Flash. Just give us a full Justice Society movie. I'm there. I like this
Yeah,
taste of the Justice Society is enough to make me want a lot more from them.
yeah, I
And
agree. Yeah,
I really enjoyed their characters as well. I love how Dr. Fate was kind of haunted by his dreams and his visions. A lot of people on the internet who I'm really like, it really annoys me. They're just comparing them to other heroes. And it's not like that at all. Like I love how Dr. Fate, he's not just Doctor Strange.
he's
He's
not even Doctor Strange at all. He's completely
no.
different to the arc as well.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange, he's like sad and depressed. Like he can't go back to his girlfriend, and he's just like in his own house, and he's like, "Oh no, what am I doing?" And you see that in the two films and the really bad What If series. Like he's really sad. But
Yeah.
here with Pierce Bronson's Doctor Fate, it's a whole lot different if you look into.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, especially in the first movie, he's very quippy. He's very Tony Stark. He's very jokey. Doctor Fate is funny, but he doesn't make jokes like that. He's a very different kind of character. He's older, he's wiser. He just acts differently. And the fact that people think they're the same, ridiculous. Like, how can people
Tony's.
look at Hawkman and say, "Oh yeah, it's just Falcon"? Like, are you kidding me? Just
What?
because,
Wait, they
like,
did not say that. Did they say
yeah,
that?
people have
Oh,
said that,
nah.
and it's like,
Nah.
is that really just because he's got wings? Like, dude, that's not like
That's
no
messed
no no
up.
no no.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's just like
You
Hawkman. I really liked him as well. Like,
yeah.
he was like really like uber like serious, and he very much sees this as like his job to do and his duty, and he's the one who comes to an understanding with Black Adam. And like also he's got like this relationship with everybody. There's loads of things going on, and I think that people saying that Atom Smasher is a mix between Ant-Man and Deadpool, like, no, not really. He's young and he's like optimistic and he's trying to live up to his uncle, cameo by Henry Winkler for some reason, which is really
Yeah.
fun. And then people are saying Cyclone's just Storm. No, 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 no. She's
No,
not. She's
she's
like
not.
uber intelligent and similar to Atom Smasher, a lot more kind of wet behind the ears. And it's like, come on, come on.
That's not my
Ridiculous.
comparisons to, characterization because it's DC. There's loads of comparisons, DC and Marvel, like in comic book terms. Like Deathstroke, and then a few years later, I believe, after Deathstroke was created, they got Deadpool. And then they were comparing like, how Marvel or DC copying up characters. But here in film, like it's completely different. Like DC is a whole new bunch of characters that they explored, like Batman in BBS and Superman and Man of Steel and like Wonder Woman in the first one, and it's completely different how they, try to reinvent the characters and make it emotional and the way they show it on screen as well. And Black Adam, it does it again, like it does, with the characters, and they make it so believable, they make it realistic on their way, and it's completely original, what the idea is. Like Hawkman, nothing like Falcon at all. Like
Yeah.
Hawkman's got this really cool mace, like that just spins and it just
Yes.
changes weapons, and
Love
he
it.
can fly as well. He's got wings. He's got wings, but
He does have
he's kind of
wings.
like that.
Yeah. I
But
really I thought he was just really cool.
and then the really cool thing is that he can come back to life, like in a different body. So like with the idea of a
Yeah.
Hawkman is that he is not afraid of death and he will come back to life. And there's a really cool story with Hawkman throughout the comics. I recommend if you want to hear more about Hawkman, it's really cool if you want to go into it. It was during the Crisis event. Oh no, it was Dark Knight Metal. So yeah,
Nice.
if you yeah, it's really cool. They explored Hawkman like properly in like the psychological idea of that, like throughout
Mm.
different crises, and it was so cool. So I
Yeah.
recommend. I think
It
it was
it
different crises. I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, but yeah,
it
I'm pretty sure it was
it's
different crises. Yeah,
it's DC. There's 1,000 different crisis events. But
Final
it's
Crisis.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like Final Crisis, Identity Crisis, Infinite Crisis, Crisis in Infinite Earths, Crisis on Earth. It's like, calm down, guys.
yeah, guys,
I
guys,
have to
bring
say
a
though, like a lot of the things that disappoint me about this film come down to the fact that if the villain wasn't there and it was just Justice Society, you can explore these characters so much more. They explore them, but only on a base level sense. And let's go deeper.
cool.
Let's really drill into these characters because I feel like, that would make this movie so much stronger. There is a lack of characterization for some of these, a lack of
Yeah.
development at least. And like the villain was just so baffling. He's basically an Uncharted villain who, wants the artifact and then uses the
Uh,
artifact and becomes like evil, like very kind of
yeah,
Indiana Jones Uncharted, that kind of thing. I was just
yeah.
like, this is so strange. Like, why? No, wasn't a fan.
Maybe
Not
maybe
at
there was
all.
something going on with DC. Like, we need to add a villain, but then like, no, we got the Justice Society. We can explore through that. And like, no, we need a proper villain. And then it was
Yeah.
just an Uncharted villain all the way through.
Last week we talked about She-Hulk, and in She-Hulk they literally make a jab at the fact that all comic book films, they all end with this big like fight with a villain, and it's like, yeah, this one fell into that trap, and that's the worst part of the movie. The villain even does a sky beam. Like, come on, when your villain does a sky beam, you know that you've made mistakes in your life.
Oh yeah,
Like,
like,
guys, come on.
and then the really, really annoying thing was I don't know why they decided to like set up the plot twist that he was the double crosser the entire time. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but it was like showing to different characters, and then it was like meant to show us as the audience, like, oh my god, he's the double crosser, and then
Like, what that guy's, yeah, no, there was
yeah.
just, it did feel annoying. I mean, it was for me, my two least favorite aspects of this movie were him and the other human characters. I can't tell you how much the kid annoyed me.
Oh,
Like at the
he was
end
annoying.
when he's like, guys, we need to rise up. We're gonna fight the demons, and it's like, shut up, man.
Shut up!
Like, dude, come on. Like, and when you consider that Shazam has like really, really likable kid characters in, Billy's family and his siblings, like this kid was just not it.
You
He
would
was
not
kind
shut up the
he was
entire
quite
time.
annoying. I know,
Yeah,
and it's just like there were a couple of fun moments, like I really enjoyed the ongoing joke of "Tell him the man in black sent you," and the fact that Black Adam he keeps on missing the chance to say his one-liner, and then he finally says it. That was fun,
that was
but
cool. That was
but
really cool. But
the kid and his mom, they just weren't really that fleshed out. They have one character trait, and their character trait is, I love Kandak. I want Kandak to be freed, and that's kind of, again,
yeah,
we need more time to fully develop these guys.
mm,
That did feel like a whole section of the plot that was very disinteresting, and a lot of the first act is about that. So the first
yeah.
act to me, I was kind of underwhelmed because it was very much about those characters, and they were the least interesting part of the movie to me.
You know the opening, like the kid telling us about conduct. I don't know how he knows this, but I think it's like a
Yeah,
legend. But
it's a legend, I
um,
guess. Yeah,
the way it was opening up and then he start talking, it just gave me the Flash intro, and
My
My
name
name's
is
Barry
my
Allen.
name my name is Teth Adam.
It just gave me that flashback because we knew, oh no, we're going to get a bunch of information. Like,
Yeah.
it's so annoying when there's superhero films or like action films like this go, I got to tell you everything. I've been hunted by the CIA. I got
Yeah.
private documents and everything, and I
Yeah.
miss my wife. And
It
I
felt
need to eat my meat. And
yeah, it was just so like generic and like they do this whole twist where he's like, I wasn't the original choice, it was my son. And that was a very obvious twist.
it
Like I
was
saw
very
that
obvious.
coming. And while it did add texture and it made the plot more interesting, it was so obvious. And it made that whole first act completely redundant. Like, what's
I
the
don't know
point?
why.
But it did give us the greatest thing ever. Skinny Rock. Oh my god.
Skinny walk.
they
Finally,
put
something
they
that I
put
can.
they put Dwayne Johnson's head on a skinny body, and oh my god, it's
It's
the
so
funniest
weird.
thing. It's so weird.
It's so weird. It's like he's so ripped, but then later on he's returning back into his normal form, and it's like, oh my god, Skinny the Rock Johnson. It's skinny. It's skinny.
Skinny the Rock Johnson, brilliant.
Uh,
That's it.
oh my
It
god,
was really weird.
it
It
was
was
so
just
weird.
like what you do, like okay, at the beginning when the kid talks to his dad and you can't see the dad's face, I was immediately like, yeah, that's him. That's
Hey,
the Rock.
hey, what's up, Dwayne? How you doing?
Yeah. And they literally show it in the trailer. They literally show him cradling his son. And it's like, come on. Come on.
I was a
I mean,
slave at that
yeah,
time, and then
exactly.
it was
Yeah.
like literally showing the plot twist. It was like
Yeah.
showing the entire thing, and it was like, okay, guys, it's the Rock. He sacrificed himself to be Black Adam. I was like, oh, okay. And then another thing was interesting was the
Mm.
wizards.
Yes.
Yes, the
Very
wizards.
cool. This
Yeah,
this film, I really liked how it was connected to the DCEU in very subtle ways.
yes,
It didn't feel like Ant-Man, where Falcon shows up for 20 minutes in the middle. It was like, okay, so the wizards are here. That makes sense. That's connected to the origin. They even reference that in Shazam, sure. Amanda Waller's here for 2 seconds because she's the person who, like deploys the Justice Society. They need to meet somebody when they imprison Black Adam. So why can't it be Harcourt? I liked that. And I feel like that's really nice and a really cool way of taking the film and kind of like implanting it in this universe. I feel that's a good place to end our discussion about Black Adam and start talking about the future of DC a little bit. Are there any more points about Black Adam that you want to make before we move on?
yes. One point of criticism, right? Why was the music so loud in this
Oh
film?
my God, you're so right. The music,
I
every
couldn't
time.
hear a piece of dialogue when the characters like there's some of the motifs like the beautiful score like reaching in. It was like it was like the shepherd's boy
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Doctor Who, like that
yeah.
music. You cannot hear the Peter Capaldi's dialogue like 1 second. What? It was like that the entire way through. The music was
It was
so loud that was my piece of
they'd
criticism.
they'd be having
Thank you for my TED talk.
they'd be having a conversation and then the music would be like it was like so loud and you just couldn't hear what's going on. And it's just like this movie, it's just too badass. It like,
It's
it's in the title of the video. It's unapologetically badass. It doesn't care. It's just
hell
like,
yeah.
yeah, the music's gonna be too loud. So what? And it just goes for it. And it was fun. It was really cool.
It was a really enjoyable film, and I
Yeah,
recommend you going to see it at the cinema because it's
absolutely.
stupid, it's fun, and
Yeah.
I wonder
And
if the Rock just
it's
listens to this
it
is like, what are these two idiots listening? What are they saying? What are they
it's
saying?
not a
But
it's not a masterpiece, but it doesn't have to be. I love how versatile DC is recently. Every film, they don't feel like they're coming from a formula. And yeah, this film has formulaic elements to it, but they feel more like they're each made targeting different audiences
mm,
and they're exploring different niches and different genres. Like that's just what I want to see out of these universes. And yeah, so like before we talk about the DCEU, we're gonna give Black Adam out of 10.
it's 7.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go 6. So I don't think anything happened in the post credit scene. Did anything happen? I don't think so.
I don't know.
And yeah, I don't. I mean,
I remember the
oh,
Rock
oh,
just like
oh, of
promoting.
course,
Wait,
John.
what?
How could we? Amanda Waller was there.
Oh my god! Oh
Let's
my god!
go!
Oh, let's go! We got continuity in the DCEU. Wait,
Woo!
isn't not called the DCEU one? What's it called
Yeah, I think
now?
it's called the DCU now, just DCU,
DCU
as in
now?
like Detective Comics Universe.
Ah, that's interesting. I mean, we don't have
Sure.
anything huge, do we? Like
No,
to talk about at
no.
the end, right? Unless people saw the rest of the film and spot something out like very small.
It's official now. Superman's there, and he bloody Superman.
Yes.
I mean, like, okay. So any longtime listeners of the podcast will remember when we did I can't I think it was the Gray Man episode.
Was it?
No, it was something like that. Maybe it was Miss Marvel. Let me check. Yeah, when we did our Miss Marvel episode, at the end we said, because that was the week before Comic Con, and at the end we said we might do a Comic Con episode because we're hoping that the rumors are true. And if anybody remembers the rumors were that Henry Cavill would be announced to be coming back to DCU as Superman, and it didn't happen. And you remember, John, we were waiting for it to happen. It didn't happen, and it was so soul crushing. Anybody who's listened to
Oh my God.
our Snyder trilogy episodes, we love Superman and we love Henry Cavill in the role, and it's so good to see him back. Henry, yes, thank you.
Henry.
I'm
Hell
so
yeah.
like Dwayne Johnson, just well done, well done. You brought Henry Cavill back, and it makes you so happy that that's happened finally.
Yeah. And since we talked about Snyder Cut, we just been like hoping for like news about like what the future of DC is going to be like. We had highs and lows,
Mm,
everything about DCU, and we was like so bummed about like, what if they're not gonna continue the Snyderverse, or what if they're gonna, continue with this whole amazing journey with DC right now, and it had so much potential. Like we thought about everything that, they might explore, and then
yeah,
now it's bright. The future is bright for DCU.
it really
It,
is.
and I'm very thankful for The Rock. I can't believe
Yes.
I'm thanking The Rock after this, but
I
thank you,
mean,
man. Yeah,
we were worried that Dwayne would become the Kevin Feige of the universe, for lack of a better term, but we know now that's not the case because James Gunn and Peter Safran are co-CEOs of DC Studios, which is brilliant. I know that some people don't like James Gunn's movies, but what you've got to remember is that James Gunn isn't going to make everything like the Suicide Squad.
mm,
That's his movie, that's his style, and he knows the importance of giving creatives freedom. He understands that. I think this is the
you good?
best thing that could possibly happen. And think about it. People who know,
Yeah,
James Gunn wrote Zack Snyder's first movie. This could be the key to getting Zack Snyder back. And I don't want it to all be the Snyderverse. I want to see other things too.
yeah.
But I think we're in a really exciting position for DC. To make myself clear, though, Batgirl, release it. Oh my God,
Mm.
please. Like we still really, really deserve Batgirl. All the people who worked hard on Batgirl for it not to be released. So unfair. And I really hope they find a way to release it
Yeah.
because god damn, that's just not fair in the slightest.
Yeah, we just been hoping about like any news about Batgirl as well. Like we wanted to come back. It's something that we've been hyping about like for years. We're like, oh my God, a Batgirl film. That's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be like very different. As you said, some superheroes are generic, but with DC, it's like there's no formula, as you said. Like, and Batgirl had so much potential. Like Brendan Fraser. Oh my God, how could you?
Brendan Fraser as Firefly? Dude, who wouldn't want that? We getting J.K. Simmons back as Commissioner Gordon. Michael Keaton's Batman was going to be there. Leslie Grace was going to be playing Batgirl. You got the directors of the best episodes of Miss Marvel and Bad
And
Boys for Life.
they've been through a lot of things. Like Batgirl
Yeah,
completely gone.
that's
Uh,
ridiculous. It's just like, come on, come on, not fair. I really hope we get to see that one day, but there have been some really upsetting things about DC. They have shelved Emerald Fennell's Zatanna movie. They're not going ahead with their Green Lantern TV show in its original form. Things have got better than they were, but still,
yes.
there's work to be done. And I really hope that they can still make passionate, creative led projects and really explore and expand the DC catalog. We were going to get, like, think about this. Some of the projects that have been cancelled were a film about the New Gods, a film about the Wonder Twins,
Oh yeah,
Batgirl, Zatanna. Like, DC is more than just the core Justice League.
that's so
And I
annoying.
feel like films like The Suicide Squad understand that. It throws in so many cool and obscure characters. Let's just go for that. Let's do more. I really hope that we can in the future continue to do what DC have been doing. And hopefully another Superman movie.
Yeah, would been waiting for that for years. Like since when? Nearly 10 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, Man of Steel was 2013, so next year will be the 10th anniversary.
That is crazy. And as I said, the future is bright. I just realized those projects that you talked about, like New Gods and Green Lantern, but Green Lantern's coming back, so that's good.
Yeah,
We
we are
got
getting a Jon Stewart TV show, it seems. I mean, Jon Stewart deserves a movie, let's be honest, but I still think it's cool that we're getting a TV show. What do you think we're going to see for Black Adam? Do you think we're going to get Black Adam versus Superman? Do you think Black Adam will be in Shazam 3? Like, what do you think's going on?
that's interesting. I think they should go for a mix of both, but I'm not too sure because it needs to link with the continuity of Shazam, and we've got this whole Shazam movie and then a second one as well. And I think they would need to establish that in the third one, the relationship between Shazam and Black Adam. And it's very different because you got the same, idea of like Shazam and the whole thing with the powers, but they have completely different ideas. And I would see how they would go head to head or have that relationship. And then Superman and Black Adam, that would be interesting actually, because you got
Mm.
two very powerful
Powerful.
superheroes.
No, I
And
agree with you. We've got like really interesting dynamics to be explored. I hope they don't forget Shazam and Black Adam, they're arch nemesis. Black Adam needs to fight Shazam, and Shazam should win. Like, I know that Dwayne Johnson doesn't like to lose, but he's a producer on Shazam. I hope that he cares enough about DC to know that even though Black Adam is powerful and really cool and strong, that Shazam is the place. And I think that what I hope for personally is that in Shazam 3, it's not just Shazam, it's Black Adam and Superman. Think about it. It makes sense. Shazam and Superman have already met. Technically, they met at the end of the first Shazam, and Shazam's always looking up at the other heroes. You can get like the good dynamics between them, and Black Adam is, like this powerful thing who Superman's already warned, and they can fight and they're connected through the wizard. I think this could be really cool.
yeah, and as you said, this must be interesting dynamics to explore as well.
Mm.
And yeah, we got a whole new thing to explore. Like there could be huge potential for, James Gunn. And I remember Kevin Feige wanted to crossover movie,
Yeah,
but
no, no,
no,
no.
no,
Don't do that. Do
don't do
not.
that.
Don't
Do
make a
not.
crossover. Don't make a Marvel. You mean a Marvel DC crossover, right?
That's what he said. Yeah.
Let's not do that. Let's not. Just keep them separate, man. Like they're so different,
Yeah,
and
true.
they don't need to rely on each other. It's a dark day when that happens. My final thing that I want to talk about before we wrap it up is what do you think about Superman's suit? He's wearing the Man of Steel suit in Black Adam. What are your thoughts?
It's a suit. No, no, no. We
My
got
God,
the
he's right. It is a suit. Holy shit.
But no, I'm really happy they brought back that suit because I remember Zack Snyder was talking about this suit and he was like talking about there should be some Kryptonian language onto the suit, and I think that's really cool as well. And they
Mm.
wanted to bring back Henry Cavill's Superman. I think that's a great way to approach that because what else are you gonna bring back Henry Cavill? He's not gonna use like that classic suit from Man of Steel, and I think that is a great way, like showing who Superman really is.
This isn't actually the suit with the Kryptonian language on it.
It doesn't.
No, that's the Batman v Superman suit. So I think it's interesting
Oh,
that let's for a moment, let's assume that Zack Snyder's Justice League is canon. It should be canon. Let's assume that it is
yes.
canon.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically, Superman's story goes he wears the Man of Steel suit, and then he wears the Batman v Superman suit, and then he wears the black suit, and then he goes back to the Man of Steel suit, and then he goes back to the black suit, and then eventually when he becomes evil in the Nightmare timeline, he wears the Batman v Superman suit again. I hope they clear this up. I know that Henry Cavill talked recently, and he said that he chose the Man of Steel suit because it was nostalgic, because it was the first one that he put on, and it was a really big moment for him when he returned to the character. I hope that we kind of get some continuity for the suits. I don't know what's really going on with that, but I like the idea that every day, every week, Superman chooses what suit to wear.
Mm.
Like maybe sometimes the way that I'm thinking about it at the moment is in Man of Steel, Jor-El has an entire wardrobe of suits. Let's say he's got three. Let's say he's got the three main ones: he's got Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, and the black suit. I would say that maybe Jor-El, he gives him this suit, he gives him the classic suit, and he says, this is a symbol of hope. So Superman wears that suit in Man of Steel because he wants to be that symbol of hope. But he kind of fails in Man of Steel,
Yeah.
and after that, he gets a huge backlash and he is a bit down on the world and down on himself and he's questioning everything. So in Batman v Superman, he wears a different suit, a suit that tries to connect him more, but kind of fails, and he dies in that suit. And obviously, the black suit is a symbol of his rebirth and it absorbs more sun energy. And then from there, because he's more hopeful again, he puts on the original suit. And then maybe when he goes to fight Darkseid, he puts on the black suit again because he needs that sun energy. And then when Lois dies and he succumbs to anti-life, he puts on the Batman v Superman suit because he's feeling down on the world again. Like maybe he genuinely has different suits and he's like trying to figure out which one he wears at the beginning of each day. He's like, oh, I'm not really feeling the black suit today. I'll put on the red and blue again. Like, I like the idea that he's just sitting in like somebody's drowning and he's just in the fortress, just like, which do I choose today?
You just got a whole different lore. I was just like,
Yeah.
yes, he wears different suits because suit. I'm just like,
Well, I mean, if I really hope that Zack Snyder's Justice League is canon, like I really, really hope that it's canon,
oh,
and
imagine,
this kind of complicates that since as though he's not wearing that suit.
imagine The Rock just like announcing, like saying, we're bringing back the Snyderverse or the Snyder like
That would be
storyline or
that
like
would be
that.
really cool. I think that personally, what I want is that they don't backtrack; they just continue the storyline, but let it grow. You know, if you bring them back, bring them back as they are now. Have Aquaman and the Flash wearing their new suits. Have Shazam in it. Like if you've got Suicide Squad members in there, have members from the Suicide. I just think that it doesn't have to be exactly what Zach originally planned with the exact characters. Who really wants to see the Nightmare with Mera in it? I don't.
No, no, no,
I don't.
please,
I don't want to
please.
watch
I
that.
don't want that. Please, I don't want that.
Exactly. Replace Mira with somebody else. Replace it with Mary Marvel, someone like that. Like, I think we could genuinely do something different and cooler and embrace all that DC has done in nearly 10 years. It's mad that DCU has been going on for 10 years, and yet we still haven't had that big crossover event like Marvel have.
At least we got some really exciting news, and I'm glad that we just got those now. And The Rock, he's finally saved the DCU.
Absolutely. Not that it needed saving, but in terms of as a universe, I think we're in good hands. Let's hope with The Rock and Peter Safran and James Gunn. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Half Black Adam, half just DCEU talk in general. If you are listening on YouTube and you enjoyed it, give it a like and you can subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can follow us if you want to see more and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. Next week, we're going over to Marvel. We're going to be doing Black Panther in preparation for Wakanda Forever. I'm really excited to do those two movies. I really hope Wakanda Forever is amazing.
I heard really good reviews. Well,
Yeah, me
some like
too.
first like previews, like talking about like the film, and
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see where this film takes. And I heard it's like the best film out of Phase 4. Hopefully, please, please,
Yes.
please let be the Pandora's box and let us in see what Marvel is actually working on, and it's going to be like
Yeah.
something really emotional. And
I mean, it's the final. Well, it's also Phase Four's penultimate. So let's hope that it really kind of smashes it out of the park. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and you can send us an email with your questions and your thoughts. Tell us your thoughts on Black Adam and the DCEU. Ask us questions, anything we didn't cover in this video or anything like that, just anything in general, and we will answer it on the podcast if you email us at outstandfilmpod@gmail.com.
and thank you for listening. We enjoyed talking about Black Adam. Go see it. It's a really
Yeah.
fun film, and if you didn't like it, well, that's your opinion, and then everyone should respect. So, yeah,
Yes,
enjoy.
that's a very good point. Respect
Yeah,
everyone's opinions.
and don't be in
Like,
argument for hours and like
no,
saying, "No, you're an idiot for not liking this." Oh my God,
yeah,
you didn't like. Well, yeah, let's not get into that. This is
no,
an idea
yeah,
where we just look into stuff and then we just talk about each other's opinions as well. especially the music.
Absolutely.
The music being really loud.
Give
Okay, take what you're given.
nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.